Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp. My name is Glenn and today we have a review of Star Wars Pinball for you. Thank you to Zen Studios for this review copy. Just a quick couple of points. I'm only going to show a few of the tables in this video. This might make for a less exciting video, but I think it's important that people interested in the game have a few surprises. And secondly, I have activated a streamer mode in the game which turns off all copyrighted music. So you won't hear any of the game's music in this video due to this reason. I will of course talk about the music though in the relevant section. Okay, let's get started. There are 19 tables included in this collection, and in terms of what they are based on, there are 5 categories. These are movie adaptations, and the movies with a table are episodes 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, Rogue One and Solo. TV adaptations with tables based on the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. Characters with Han Solo, Darth Vader, Lando Calrissian, Boba Fett and the droids getting a table. There are 2 tables based on locations in the Star Wars universe, and the final 4 tables all have a specific Star Wars theme, such as Jedi vs Sith. The tables themselves are incredibly layered. Although they look like fairly standard tables on first glance, a quick look into the guide for any particular one shows you just how much depth they have, with a number of scenes and set pieces to unlock. Going back to the table guide, this will explain how to unlock each of these scenes and what it is you are aiming to do to be successful within each one. It's extraordinary how your perspective of a table can change after familiarising yourself with these guides. You can play these at a completely superficial level, never really bothering yourself with the extra layers of depth, and just enjoy it until your third ball disappears, but take the time to learn the ways of each table and it almost becomes a different game. There are online leaderboards available as well as friend specific leaderboards, and these are a great incentive to keep on trying to improve your scores. For anyone unfamiliar with Zen's work, their tables err on the side of the fantastical. There are particular set pieces or mini-games as mentioned earlier that you can unlock by hitting certain points on the table. These will see you using the flipper buttons to take part in actions such as a lightsaber duel with Darth Vader, and it's always great fun to discover a new one of these. The special effects as you play include characters from the series battling each other and walking around the table, and lasers being fired, and as much as I love a serious realistic game of pinball, I must admit that I do love the life and personality that these moments bring, quite literally, to the table. Despite these cinematic elements, the core ball physics are top notch, with the ball having the essential weighty feel and not feeling at all floaty. In terms of gameplay modes, Star Wars Pinball has a variety of options. First up, and new to the Switch version, is the career mode. This is split into 5 operations, each containing a number of missions, and the operations increase in difficulty as you progress. Each table has its own criteria, such as giving you a set time limit or a traditional free ball challenge, and you will attempt to reach the high score tiers, and a holocron shard available for each one you achieve. These shards can be used to unlock various force powers and talents. These are another way that Zen mixes the gameplay up in its tables. They are basically perks that grant you bonuses which you can then use in-game to attempt to increase your score. Force powers are activated by the player, and examples include multiplying your score for a limited amount of time or slowing the game down to allow you to make a precision shot. Force talents are passive abilities and include granting you score when your ball travels a certain distance, or increasing the length of time that your ball will save should you miss your shot. You can select up to 2 force talents and a force power at a time, and you can use the holocron shards mentioned earlier to upgrade these further still and improve the perks that they grant. Completing a full operation in this mode will unlock rewards such as leaderboard customization and titles. Next up is the single player mode. This allows you to choose any of the 19 available tables and try for your best score. You can use any of the force powers or talents you have unlocked, or you can choose classic single player to play without any such skills. There is the opportunity to master each table by reaching a certain score threshold. This is accumulative, so every time you play a table across any of the game modes, you will contribute to this table's total mastery score. A local hot seating mode is available in this mode for up to 4 players to compete on one switch. League play gives you a list of tables to choose from and then has you pick from 3 high scores posted from other players around the world. You then have a limited amount of time to beat their score. Victory in these head-to-head matches will net you league points, and if you are in the designated percentage of players for your league by the end of the week, you will be promoted to the next league. I really enjoyed this mode and look forward to trying to progress up the league. It's a shame that promotion isn't earned as soon as you hit a certain threshold, as it would have just given that instant gratification of success, but I can see this style keeping me hooked, checking in to make sure I'm still in the top percentage as the days tick down. Online tournaments are also available for you to participate in, with new ones being added all the time, and you can even create your own tournament, setting the criteria and opening it up to either just friends or anyone to compete in. It really is quite impressive how many modes there are and how different they feel, despite effectively being based on the same thing. Controls are extremely simple, the flippers being controlled by the ZL and the ZR buttons, the right stick flicks the ball into action, and tilting is done by pressing the left stick. You can play the game in vertical mode, ideal for if you own a flip grip, and HD Rumble is not only supported but also implemented fantastically well. Rather than the controller constantly buzzing in your hand, as is the case with most Switch games, the feedback is subtle and appropriate for the actions of the ball on screen. This feels like how Nintendo had originally envisioned HD Rumble being used in games, and it's very much appreciated. You can change the camera angle to a number of different positions, choosing the one that best gives you the view of the action for your personal tastes, and you do this with a press of the X button. Touch screen controls are available in handheld mode, with you tapping each respective bumper to use it. This worked surprisingly well and was very responsive. Swiping the top of the screen to tilt was a little awkward on early playthroughs, but there is certainly potential to play this way and be successful at the game if this is your preference. With a host of gameplay modes and impressive physics, this is a great deal of fun, as long as you don't mind a few fantastical elements in your pinball game. If you want straight pinball without any of the special effects, then this might not be for you, but otherwise gameplay scores 19 out of 20. Controls are simple to use and enhance the experience, and they get 19 out of 20. Now, I've seen and enjoyed the Star Wars movies as a very casual fan, and I did worry that having 19 tables based on the same franchise may become a little stale after a while. But then I saw the tables, and to be fair, they are absolutely spellbinding. It's not just the tables themselves, it's how they are integrated into the backgrounds, with a scene or backdrop playing out behind the table that is relevant to that table's theme. The tables themselves though are vibrant and full of life, partly down to the aforementioned set pieces and special effects that play out, but also due to the quality of the art on the actual table itself. The artwork gives the look and feel of an authentic pinball table, and if you stripped away the less realistic aspects of each one, they would not look out of place in an arcade or a pub. Lights, bumpers, scoreboards and bells all help reinforce the authenticity. Before you begin playing, the camera will pan dynamically across the table to show all of the different elements. The menus serve their purpose, perhaps being a little cluttered at times, and could also benefit from a visual example of how some of the table mechanics work in the table guide sections. There was also the occasional grammatical error in the writing, which was unfortunate. Audio wise, the game utilises the Star Wars soundtrack, although again, just to reiterate, you won't be hearing it in this video. You will hear the classic John Williams score as soon as you boot the game up, and can unlock other musical tracks to play in the menu screen through making progress in the game modes. Whilst I always like unlocking content in games through natural progression, until you unlock a second theme, you will be hearing that classic score a lot in the menus, so it's just as well it's pretty darn good. Sound effects are as you would expect, with the ping of the ball sounding just as you would hope, plus there are sound bites from the movies too. I don't know if they are the actual lines taken directly from the movies or have been reread from sound-alike actors, but either way they are utilised well in regard to what's happening in the game. You will hear them repeat at times, although to be fair, a lot of the time that's because you have reactivated a particular mode. Visuals are vibrant, with tables brought to life well, and score 16 out of 20, whilst audio uses the classic themes and voices as well as those important pinball sound effects and gets 19 out of 20. Star Wars Pinball costs £26.99 or $29.99, and this is the first Zen Pinball game I can remember to get a physical release, which is great news. In terms of whether it's worth this, it really depends what business model you prefer. Do you like to pay for a full game with a set number of tables included, or do you prefer the other model commonly used in pinball games, including Zen's own Pinball FX3, of downloading the game, perhaps with a table or two for free, and then just buying the ones you want? In this format you are effectively paying about £1.40 or $1.60 a table, which sounds pretty decent when you say it like that. I've already seen the physical version on sites like base.com and thegamecollection.net for around £23, which may be more palatable for some, and value scores 15 out of 20. To conclude, Star Wars Pinball is an extremely impressive compilation, and it's nice to see this Switch version get itself some exclusive content such as the career mode. It goes without saying that if you do not like pinball games, this won't change your mind. However, if you like pinball but aren't massively into Star Wars, then don't write this off too quickly. As I said, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but still thoroughly enjoyed this game. Some might balk at the price, but as mentioned, when you break it down per table, it sounds pretty reasonable, and there is that physical release for the first time. Star Wars Pinball gets a SwitchUp score of 88%. Many thanks as always everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please do remember to leave a like if you did. A quick thank you to our Patreons as always for your continued support. Another thank you to each and every one of you for watching our videos. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, take care and happy gaming.